right. Welcome back to PoPolitickin.com, your home for self-help meets hip-hop. Right now, we're live on YouTube. Check me out on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to the podcast. 1, 2, I'm in the place to be with BP.
What up? What up?
Hey, you like that? I got a little flow. How you doing today?
I'm good. You know what I mean? You know, the holidays are coming, so the crunch is here, but you know, it's just another day in the life. The record's out. I'm excited about it. You know what I mean?
All right. So just as an icebreaker, just give me something that's going on with you right now. Like, give me a burning issue. It could be current event or just whatever was going on with you. What's your burning issue right now that you're working on or working with?
Outside of the music realm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't want to get too political or anything, but you know, the COVID's all around us, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's a problem. But if I was to talk about anything, probably the Knicks, bro. I'm a tortured Knicks fan. And you know, this season has been rough. You know, Randall and Barrett, you know, all that stuff they did last year, that was an inside empty gyms, you know, and there's plenty of guys in the league that, you know, in practice, you know, they could, you know, shoot the ball and do everything great, but you know, it matters when the lights are on and there's people in the stadium. So I don't know if last year was just an aberration or what. The East has got a lot better as well, you know, but it's tough. It was tough for all these years we've been down, and to have the greatest, you know, basketball player on earth, you know, in the city, you know, was equally tough. But you know, that's pretty much where I'm at with that.
Yeah, I know. Seems like Kemba Walker ain't doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Well, you know what? He played the other night. You know, he did really good. It's tough, you know. Guards are like running backs in football. You know, like the beginning of their career when they got all their explosion and everything. They're phenomenal, but you know, most of them, their knees give out on them. You know, and the reality is Kemba. This is not the same Kemba, you know, we all saw that did so many amazing things. You know, it's wild to think, what if Mike had gave him, you know, the super max, you know, instead Charlotte would be paying him what, 40 million, 45 million a year right now.
Yeah, and they wouldn't be able to. They probably wouldn't have got a ball either.
Right, and now look what they did. You know, sometimes, you know, subtraction is addition. You know, and that's what they did with him. And I thought that he could do well, but you know, I feel like him and Fournier kind of have the same skill set. You know, so it's kind of redundant. You know, we went from having an all defensive backcourt to all offensive, and you know, you kind of need one of each. That's why.
But you were saying he lost his explosiveness, but shit, he got Rose up there. Shit, he can listen to Rose. Seemed like Derrick Rose, he adjusted his game pretty good.
Yeah, but you could tell he puts a lot into his body. You know what I'm saying? He had to because of all the injuries. You know, so you know, he's always stretching and working on it. And I think he prepares more than most guys in the league. I think he needs to. You know, and I don't know if guys have that same approach. And I don't. You know, I'm no medical doctor. I don't know what these injuries really do. You know, and I'm not a player, so I don't know, you know, what they are. But you know, from my limited understanding, you know, Kemba is arthritis, just bone on bone. There's nothing you can do with that. You know what I'm saying? While you know, Rose has reconstructed ACLs and things of that nature, and that comes with limitations. But like I said, I don't think it's the same thing as bone on bone. That's constant inflammation. You know, that's the Patrick Ewing with the double ice packs every time, you know, in the game.
Yeah, I got a torn meniscus too, so that bone on bone ain't no joke. You go up the stairs, next day your shit be hurt. So imagine playing basketball on that shit.
Word, you know, and you know, anybody who's played the game will tell you, you know, regardless of how hard they practice, how hard they prepare, when the game is on, like, it turns up to another notch, you know. So it's like you can't not be on it. And I think, you know, you know, the team just ain't built correctly. You know, you got too much redundancy. You got a bunch of guys that are like six men. You know, I like a lot of guys on the team, but we really don't have any starters. You know what I'm saying? Or true starters. I do like Barrett. You know, like I said, I'm not a huge Randall fan. I love what he did last year, but then, you know, he faded in the playoffs, and he's just been, you know, his leadership this year has really lacked. You know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I'm a Lakers fan. I guess I'm a Lakers fan. I live in San Diego, so I've been out here for a while, so I guess I would say I'm a Lakers fan. But I used to watch them when they had Randall. So when they went to the playoffs, and I'm like, that's the guy. Like, nah, he can't. I mean, I'm not saying he's not a good player, but I don't think he can be your number one player. Like, he ain't like that. Like, you need somebody. He'll be the number two. Like, he'll be a good number two. He'll be a great number three, but number one, especially like you said, when it's playoff time and it's time to turn it up, and they double teaming you and shit like that. Nah, yeah.
Word. And, you know, and I thought he understood that a little bit, but like at the beginning we were like 5-1, and you know, he was like pouting. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like, you know, and ever since then it's just been off the rip. Oh, and
But you, I would say, did you watch any football?
No, I mean, you know, I stay up on all sports just because it's conversation. But the only stuff I really check out is the Knicks. You know, in terms of sports.
I was gonna ask you about the football because I was like, damn, man, that shit sad. Bridgewater got hurt again. I was like, God damn, he stay getting hurt. You saw how he got hurt?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw him. They carted him off. You know,
he can't catch no break, man. Like shit. I think he needed to just stop retiring because that shit getting crazy with him. I was like, God damn.
I mean, that's like Anthony Davis, right? You know what I'm saying? Some of these guys are just constantly injured. You know what I'm saying? And there's guys like LeBron who never had injuries for like 18 years, really. You know what I mean? It's wild.
So what part of New York you from?
I'm from Amityville, Long Island.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let us know a little bit about your background. Let us know how you got involved with hip hop.
Well, you know, hip hop's always been around me. You know, in the neighborhood I grew up in. You know, it's that's where De La Soul is from, Prince Paul, and you know, just kind of in the culture of who we are. Like, you know, in school I would always just be banging on the desk or, you know, listening to music, putting people on the newest music, and people would always be rhyming around me, and you know, constant battles. And it was just a part of our everyday life. You know what I'm saying? We cut class just to go to another class, sit in the back of it to you know, make hip hop. And then out of that, you know, as I got older, as hip hop started blowing up more and more, I just was constantly listening to it, and I'd make mixtapes, things like that. And then after that, I eventually, you know, I got an MP in like 2000, and I started making beats. And a lot of my friends from my neighborhood, they were already making music anyway. You know, they had put out vinyl, they had done stuff. You know, guys with disposable income, let's just say. So, you know, that was my beginning. So like within 2 to 3 months, me having an MP, I'm already in the studio running studio sessions, you know, with guys who had money to burn, you know. So it was my learning curve was really quick. But even all that being said, it was just like something I did as a hobby, you know, but I took seriously every time I did it. And then in like 2005, I got my first placement on Black Market Militia's album. I did the joint called The Struggle. And you know, still I was just, you know, just doing stuff locally. I put out an album myself, you know, and just working with local artists. And then like around 2008, 2009, I got up with Ninth Prince, Killer Army. And me and him worked together real heavy for a long time. We put out Revenge of the Ninth Prince, you know, when he first came home. That was in 2010. I think that's his third solo album, or, you know, maybe second. I think third. But you know, it was great work with him. I got to work with a bunch of Wu-Tang guys, you know, and I'm a huge Wu-Tang fan, you know, so it was an honor to work with them, and even to be at 36 Chambers, you know, in Jersey, you know, where so many of the amazing records we listened to were recorded. You know, it was just dope to always soak that in. And
who was you working with from Wu-Tang?
Well, on the ninth album, we had you know, Killer Priest. I've done a bunch of stuff with him over the years. On that album in particular, Shaheem was on it, you know. Islord from Killer Army, the RZA, Taya, who he was messing with real heavy at that point. And then not on that record, but we had done another record with Capadonna and Master Killer as well. You know what I'm saying? That was really cool. Back to the 36. It was called. We actually shot it in the Shaolin Temple in Manhattan. You know what I'm saying? It's got the Wu logo on the wall. And that was a really good time. And I can't remember. They was protesting something then. It wasn't, it was pre-Trump, all that stuff. It wasn't that. I can't remember what they were protesting, but I remember we was in there, in the middle of the shooting. A bunch of people came down the
Was it the
street.
Occupy Wall Street stuff? I remember that was going on.
Yeah, it might have been. You're right. It probably was that. It probably was Occupy Wall Street stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. From there, I did some other Wu-Tang affiliate stuff. I done stuff like Timbo King. You know what I'm saying? His album From Babylon to Timbuktu. I did stuff on Shaheem's album, Disrespectfully Speaking, and then just stuff here and there. And then I really started getting real focused with it and putting it like my all into it. And I put out like a compilation called Timeless Music, and that was just like most of the people I had the honor to work with over the years. I did an album with Nature from the firm called Target Practice. That was on Infamous Records, so that was through Prodigy. Prodigy jumped on a joint for that as well. And we were supposed to continue to work as well, but unfortunately, he's no longer with us. So like I a lot of my career has been Wu-Tang and Queensbridge. You know what I'm saying? Because then after that I also did an album with Tragedy Gaddafi called Immortal Titans, which was one of my favorite albums I've done, and we're actually in the process of finishing up part 2 right now.
Yo, next time you talk to him, man, tell him about me, because we've been going back and forth for a whole year about trying to do an interview because we even been texting and we just ain't getting an interview. So when you talk to him, be like, yo, man, just tell him Poe Official, you need to get the interview in with him.
Yeah, I'll let him know. You know what I'm saying?
He texted me the other day. He sent me he got a new song out with like it's like him. It's like a K-Slate song, him, Papoose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's that song is like Disrespect something. He just sent it to me. I forgot the name of it though. Is that let me see. It's like
he sent it to me too. I go on my phone, but that's what we on right now. Yeah. I know it was a K-Slate joint. You're right, Papoose is on it. Yeah. Somebody else too. I can't remember.
It's like 4 people. Oh, here you go. Friendly Disrespect. You got Raekwon, The Game, Young Buck, Mr. Fab. Then it looks like it got Grand Puba and Travis Gaddafi on there. So yeah, it got some people on there. That shit hard. Off the K-Slate trunk. So make sure y'all check that out. But yeah, man. So you've been putting
Travis a legend, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like so much of Queensbridge is because of him.
Mm-hmm.
They tell the story how Havoc used to say, if I came out my house, my rhymes were wacky, you beat me up. So I always made sure my rhymes were right. Like he was constantly pushing these guys. You know what I'm saying? I don't know bully shit. Just like, this is where we're from. We're repping where we're at. And then like, so much of Nas's style is, tragedy. You know what I'm saying? But it's that whole Queensbridge thing. You know what I'm saying? But, you talk about a guy that's been a part of so much that is the legacy of hip hop, right? You know what I'm saying? You got the Juice Crew. You got CNN. You know what I'm saying? You got Nas. You got Mobb Deep. He's a part of all these things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And most would argue most of those things originators of, you know what I'm saying? And, I don't know if he's ever gotten the flowers he deserves, you know what I'm saying? And still incredibly nice, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got the fountain of youth, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is. Like, every time I see him, you think, time is going to catch up with him, or, we do a joint, like, you're like, oh, is this going to be the one where he's going to not be as sharp? But I feel, like I said, I felt Immortal Titans was pretty incredible. He was, throughout the whole thing, he was just super on point and killing it. And, this new stuff I've been doing with him is arguably even better. You know what I'm saying? So, Traj is that dude. You know what I'm saying? I really dig his music. And it's been an honor to be able to do multiple projects with him. You know what I'm saying? He's also I did a compilation last year, the Supreme 7, and that had Traj, Nate, RJ Payne, Crooked Eye, Rascass, and the Hoodies. And then last year I also did an album with John Jiggs called The Madness, which was another project I'm really proud of. Being from Long Island, I'm always trying to, if I'm gonna do something other than working with legends and people that are established, I'm gonna work with guys from Long Island but Jigs is established. I met Jigs through Nature. You know what I'm saying? And he was on Nate's album, Target Practice. He was on a song with Tragedy Gaddafi. It was the three of them. It was Nate, Jigs, and Tragedy. And I remember after Havoc really, really dug it too. I remember he reached out to Jigs, was just saying how dope he was.
Yeah, I interviewed him like a couple months ago too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was probably the Madness run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It was. Yep.
Yeah.
I would say, and then me and RJ Payne go way back. That's the homie. We go way back. So I'm happy for him now because I know how hard he's been working and how long he's been working. So I was like, see him now, like, man, people be thinking that shit overnight. That shit ain't overnight, bro. So we be grinding, they all don't know it.
Yeah, but in the same breath, I see a lot of parallels to me and him because as much as he's put in all that time, he turned it up another notch recently. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I feel the same way. Like the last couple of years, I got so much stuff coming as well, and I'm so proud of the things we've done. But yeah, I mean, me and Payne, I was at Def Squad at that time. You know what I'm saying? So like he had came to Def Squad and he had shot the video with us, and I spent a lot of time with him, and really smart guy, and we exchanged jewels. I think he gave me some lessons. I gave him some as well. You know what I'm saying? And I always got love for him, and I still have another joint I have with him still. You know what I mean? He was on 2 songs on that album, a song with E-Class from the Hoodies, and a Tragedy Gaddafi song.
I would say so. Like, how like most producers have like a signature sound. So how would you describe your signature sound?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I've kind of worked really hard to not have a signature sound. That's hurt me in certain ways. You know what I'm saying? Because there's people like Premier that when it comes on, a Premier song,
right?
But some guys that are like that, like, and I'm not saying Premier's like this, okay? But let's just talk in general terms. Some of those guys, they have 8 sequences, 10 sequences. You know what I'm saying? Where basically, I remember when I used to have MP, with the discs, sometimes you leave the same sounds plugged up, you pull in a different disc, throw a sequence on to see what it would do. And, that's some of these guys are like that, where it's, that's that sequence, that's that drum pattern, that's that, and I kind of pride myself on the fact that I don't want you to feel that. I feel like the way you'll know it's me is because at some point it's going to change in some sort of way. But not feel like, like I feel like my music is very interactive. Like people don't just rhyme over my beats. I've always been a producer. You know what I'm saying? I've always used it as them rapping is like part of the beat where, when they give it back to me, just like, I'll enhance the beat or make certain switches certain times. I'm doing it to the parts that enhance what they're doing as well. So it's like, it allows me, that's the most fun to me in the whole process of, finding samples, making beats, recording the songs, all that. My favorite, and then, the mixing, the master and all that madness. My favorite part is right after they're done with their verses is going in and then, making it a song, making it something that isn't just something that anybody's going to pick up and sound like they freestyle to. It's something that's catered and made to them. You know what I'm saying?
You was kind of about to go into it though, but I was going to ask you, I was going to say, when you said like they just don't rap on my beats, I was going to ask you, what did you mean by that? But you was kind of going into it right now.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a give and take. Sometimes what they do inspires me to change it up and add different pieces that I wouldn't necessarily have put. You know what I'm saying? And I always want my music to feel like an adventure, and I pride myself on my projects more than anything. You know what I'm saying? As much as I make really good songs, I pride myself on when you get something from me. I don't want you to hit skip. You know what I'm saying? And there's not gonna be any filler at any point. Like those things move, and they're there for you to digest as like a piece. You know what I'm saying? But in the same breath, I know 90% of the people that listen to music, they just make their own playlist. It functions like that as well. You know what I mean? But I really like crafting whole projects. I've never been a placement guy. I'm not. I don't solicit my music. You know, I rarely will give placements unless it's somebody that like I'm actually around, you know, and I also pride myself on most of the music you hear from me is stuff that I recorded them with. You know what I'm saying? We're in the same room. You know, that's what was so good about Amity Villains, which is my project is out now with Bunchy, you know, that is the current thing we're promoting that I'm really proud of, and that it isn't just a one-off. We have a lot more coming. But you know, during the pandemic, he's from my hood in Amityville, so it was like, you know, we could be in the same room. We could do, you know, all that stuff was us in a room together. And even more so than most artists I've worked with, you know, some of the things that we did was, you know, we built from the ground up. You know, like a lot of times, when the music I make, there's a part that is looped up that, you know, and when I say loop, I don't mean just the loop. Like it might be a chop, whatever the sequence is, the 2-bar sequence, 4-bar sequence. They rhyme to that. They'll just have that for 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? They'll rhyme to that, and then afterwards, I'll add the other pieces and the intros and all that. But sometimes with Bunchy, like we would pull out songs and sounds that we chose together, and we chose the tempos together. You know what I'm saying? And we're really building it from the ground up, and that's been a really fun process, because creativity is the reason why us artists put out art. The process is fun, and anytime I could switch up the process or enhance the process, I'm always willing to, because I've been blessed to work with so many diverse artists. All of them have a different process. You got the guys that come in and they need 3 other people with them. You know what I'm saying? And they need to be on the phone half the time and distracted and just, a lot of those kind of people, they do that's more like lifestyle music. You know what I'm saying? And you got people that, most of the people, they come out here to 7th headquarters, even though I do, move all around. But most people come out here and what anyone will tell you that's recorded here, they love it here. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just a comfortable atmosphere, and you're out on Long Island, so you're not in the city. And it's enough that you could be here without distraction. So if you're a thinker and you just want to vibe out, this is a perfect place. So there's been a lot of people that have I've had the pleasure of recording here. Most of them have come back because the chemistry is always right. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, they all have a different process. People that come here and they write the stuff here. Then there's people that, they want the beats, they want to work on it all week before they come to you, and all those processes are, that's why, like you say, like coming up, what's advice? What's this? Like, there's so many different paths in this, you have to find your path and the thing that is, works for your skill set. And, you should be inspired by other people. There's tons of like producers that I hear that I'm real inspired by that are different than the things I do. But I don't necessarily, try and recreate what they do. Like I never been this type beat producer. You know what I'm saying? Like you never find some page of mine. It's like, Premier type beats, BP Premier type beats. This is, like, no, they all BP beats. Now people like Premier and the RZA and Dr. Dre and Alchemist, and I could keep on going on and on and on. All those people have influenced me without question. You know what I'm saying? There's a little bit of them in anything I've done because they've inspired me through the years, but I'm a trained musician. I played music throughout my whole life. You know what I'm saying? I played piano for 10 years as a youth. I played the drums, played the saxophone for 7 years. And, in the context of bands, things like that, I was always first chair, that kind of stuff. But I just love samples. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've made original music. I still do at times. And people have always pushed me to do that. But there's just something about samples and chopping samples. And, it's like, it's continuing a conversation from long ago, and I just, I've been doing it this long, and I listen to music, more than most people. And, I still just love them samples. I love chopping them up. I love twisting them. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because, in my process of creating, that's the number one thing I'll go to is like, I'll go back to original sample. And if I feel like what I did is just like something just enhanced it a little bit, a lot of times, I'll scrap that. I got to feel like I did something to it that added to it. You know what I mean?
I was asking how do you find your samples?
And look, I'll go anywhere because when I started in 2000, like I said, I'm well versed. Most of my stuff is Wu-Tang, Queensbridge. I was up on all the latest music. I was at Jamaica Ave every Friday getting mixtapes. The Clues, the Who Kids. I was getting albums early. I was a fiend for hip hop. But so I had this like real solid foundation of all the greats, the Cool G Raps, the EPMDs, the Rakims, and then the people that were from my generation, the Nas's and the Wu-Tangs, and the Biggies and the Jay-Z's and all that. But then in 2000, when I finally bought an MP, that's right when MF Doom Doomsday came out, and I really liked that album, Jedi Mind Trick, Violent by Design. And the only reason I was on there is I saw the track listing, and on the track listing it said, Tragic Gaddafi and Cool G Rap. And I was like, whoa, like those are two of my favorite rappers ever. But anyway, both of those shaped me sonically because it was the first time that I listened to music dissecting it. Like, this is how Stoop did this. This is how Doom did this. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where it's like, like most people just enjoy music, and that was the other thing I grew to understand is, some people, when they hear music, they hear the drums. Some people just hear the bass line. Some people hear the whole compilation. Everybody interprets things different. Everybody's experience and perception is different. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody's brains are different.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the beauty of it. So I'm always curious, what people gravitate to when they say they like something I did. You know what I'm saying? Or like music. I always ask them, why and that kind of thing.
Shit, even in this, especially, it could be too like, shit, it depends like what you doing when you listen to music. Are you working out? Are you laying down? Are you high? Are you drunk?
Word.
Like, what you doing? Like, you having sex? Like, what you doing?
Yes.
All that is the vibe of music.
Nah, that's why some people, will tell you, like, I heard this the first time I heard it, I didn't like it, but you might not have been in the right mood to ingest it. Music it should feel like a mood. It should feel like a feeling. And, not every feeling is matched. You know what I'm saying? Some of the shit, especially in my catalog, it's heavy stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you want to start your day with something that heavy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you need something a little lighter. You know what I mean? But some of us, it's a struggle every day. So that's our music. That's the thing we live by. You know what I mean?
I was reading that you used to go by BP the Neckbreaker.
Yeah. Just because at one point,
sound like a wrestler.
Yeah, right. All right. So, yeah, like I'm not that's not really, even though I feel like if like we were talking about styles, I feel like a lot of my stuff is very aggressive. You know what I'm saying? It's like workout music, that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Even though like I do some other stuff as well. Yeah, like just breaking necks. I just find it clever. But yeah, that when I did that for that project, people would say what you said, like it's wrestling. And once again, I want to be as blank of a slate. You know what I'm saying? That like, you can interpret as you want it. And I don't want people. I only did it because BP. Go try and search BP. What you gonna see? You're gonna see gas
station. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's hard. It's hard to make a. I don't want to bore people with digital stuff, and everybody, most modern people are up on this stuff, so they understand it. But it's hard to make a digital imprint when you have a 2-letter name. You know what I'm saying? That ain't totally unique. But in the same breath, like there's a bunch of these like DJs we never heard of. You know what I'm saying? That are like, millions of followers, and like you type them in, and you'll see they'll have
DJ One. Be like DJ One Z.
So the reality is, if you really are that popping, the algorithm will fix itself. You could be one letter. If everybody's searching that one letter, you know what I'm saying? Eventually, it'll come up. You know what I'm saying? So that's on me then. You know what I mean? I just have to keep on, putting stuff out there. But here's the reality of me. Everything you hear from me, there's never been an agenda. Like anything I put out is something I wanted in the universe. You know what I'm saying? And somebody might be like, well, it needed this, or you should do a commercial song or a song for the club. No, everything we did was where the records took us. Where the sample was, and then eventually the vibe we had together, and then me completing the conversation after they were done and put my little, enhancements on it to make it a full song.
I want to ask you about, do you use any techniques to manifest all this stuff in your life?
In terms of what?
Like how you, because at first you were just saying like it was just a hobby, but then like shit, you started working with all these people, and did you you meditate, or what do you do? Or you just like how do you think you gravitate? What they say attracted all these people?
Right. Well, okay. Creativity is therapeutic. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't meditate per se, but like when I'm creative, when I'm making beats, or if I'm producing the record after they put their pieces in, or mixing, I lose time. You know what I'm saying? I like, it could be 4 or 5 hours just disappeared. You know what I'm saying? And time feels irrelevant. And so it is a form of meditation. You know what I mean? Have I meditated throughout my life? Yeah, but that takes a lot of discipline. And look, people like we're trying to get people to be of the conscious mind in the 70s, and look at all the distractions we have since then. People are already overstimulated, and nobody reflects already. You know what I'm saying? How many times have people reflected? So much of modern society's kill religion, and that'll at least enable people to go to bed every night and name the things that they're thankful for. You know what I'm saying? I feel that's important in life. I feel like we all have so much that we're blessed to have. You know what I mean? My brother, he lost his hearing when he was 3 months old. And that always gave me a perspective on life, because music has garnered so much of my life. It's been my greatest love other than my children. You know what I'm saying? And it's always been sad to me that that's an experience he can't have. You know what I'm saying? The way I do. So all that stuff, that's all heavy stuff, but you just have to know my process. Like I said, life is tough. Everybody has a story. Everybody has things they've been through, and you have to find a way to channel it. And I'm also a believer in the universe. Everything is balance, right? Like too much anything will kill you, and if you do anything in moderation, that's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So that's an important balance of life. And the reason I'm saying that is because I feel like you can't just consume. So much of modern society is all consumption, right? What they're doing right now, watching us. You know what I'm saying? The video games, the apps, the feeds, everything. It's all consumption. And once again, I'm not saying any of that's wrong. I love it all. You know what I'm saying? I love that you and I could, meet, and I could talk about my music. We're not in the same room. That's wild to me, but in the same breath, you have to give back to the universe. Like you have to put something in the universe. You know what I'm saying? You have to create, and it doesn't have to be music. It doesn't, maybe you're making, you're a creator. You know what I'm saying? You create your show every week. You know what I'm saying? Why do you do it every week? I would assume it's the same reasons I do it. Looking at your content and being familiar with you, I could tell you love this. You know what I'm saying? It's a part of who you are.
I love the game.
Yeah, like I'd be doing this whether I'm making music with Tragedy Gaddafi, the RZA. Sean Price has been here before he died. You know what I'm saying? I've been truly honored to work with people that, my life is wild like that, because most of these guys, you don't understand, like Tragedy Gaddafi has always been my top 5. You know what I'm saying? And then to be able to work with him, and then to make something that we're both really proud of, for him to turn to me and be like, man, I just love that record you did. Man, that's like a pinch me moment. You know what I'm saying? But my talent has gotten me here. And, that's the wild thing about hip hop, and that crazy, when KG won the tournament with Boston, right? Anything's possible. It's cliche. When he said it, I was like, man, this is so whack, but it's the truth. Anything is possible. You know what I mean? Yeah, word. Nah, but whatever it is, whatever is the mantra you have, or the philosophy, whether it's vibration, speaking into existence, or maybe just old school hard work, you know what I'm saying? Or, creating your own luck, right? Like none of this was given to me. You know what I'm saying? Like my talent got me in certain rooms, and then my personality and the naturalness of it. I've been blessed. People tell you not to meet your heroes, and I'm not telling you everybody I met. I'm like great friends with, and I love them. You know what I'm saying? But I have been blessed. Like nature's a very good friend of mine. Trash is a very good friend of mine. You know what I'm saying? I've been blessed with that. And, I've always just tried. That's guided me more than anything else. Is if it felt right, you know what I'm saying? If it felt natural, it shouldn't be hard. Like not to be too off on a tangent, but like what they said, Guns N' Roses, Sweet Child of Mine, they made that in like 15 minutes, right? You know what I'm saying? That's one of the right. But I'm saying, like, does that make the song anything less?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it was in their zone. Shit, they was in their zone.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. So like sometimes, when people are like, man, that was too easy. Like, no, like some things are just supposed to be, bro.
Yeah.
Like there's some stuff that I go back and I listen to that I did, and I go like, man, how'd I think of that? Well, you weren't thinking, right? Like athletes, muscle memory. That's why they take the 1,000 shots, so they ain't thinking. Because the more you think, the more you pull yourself out of it. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna ask you, what's that picture behind your head?
Oh, this is, I don't. It's just like hip hop legends.
Oh, okay. I thought that's what it was. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, like I got like all my other art on the walls here, like albums I've done, and I, my studio wall is ill because it's just a closet, but in the closet, you know what I'm saying, like the door, all the MCs they signed it, you know what I'm saying. So I got Sean, I got people that ain't with us no more that regardless of where I'm ever gonna be, the door comes with us. You know what I'm saying? Like there's always seventh headquarters is always there in essence. If you believe in, objects soaking up people's, energies.
I didn't get to interview Sean Price, but we had his wife and his daughter on the show.
Yeah, I met both of them as well. They were here. They were here at seventh headquarters as well.
Yeah, she was on the show a little while ago. Then we had like a little battle rap competition we was doing. She was one of our judges, so it was cool.
Yeah, she's super hip hop. So it was, God bless her. He, I don't know. We've lost a lot, but two that hurt me the most, I felt, was Big L and Sean. You know what I'm saying? Those. I never knew Big L, but Sean is someone I knew, and like we were saying, everybody has a different process. Sean was always him. You know what I mean? Like how he acts on the record, all that stupid shit. Like, no, he wasn't shooting people and beating people up every time I was around him, but he was joking. He also was someone you didn't want to, cross. You know what I'm saying? Like he was authentic. He wasn't. Some people have a persona that they conjure up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that's a terrible thing either. If you look at like most acts, over the history of time, everybody has some gimmick. You know what I'm saying?
That was the thing.
Everybody, bro.
Yeah.
Even people you think don't have a gimmick, like Drake, he does. He rhymes.
Yeah, Champagne Poppy. That's his gimmick.
Right? Yeah. But I'm saying, like, some people's more apparent. It's makeup. It's wild hair. It's
like Humpty Hump. Remember him?
All of them, bro.
Yeah.
All of them. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, that goes down. Hip hop is very different because it wasn't music, because people sounded so different. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's the most disheartening part to me when I see like when I go out to a studio and I'm hearing the things that are in the other booths and the other rooms. Everybody's just copying, like that, that whiny rap, like that kind of stuff, and like, regardless of what you thought of, like Vinny from Naughty by Nature or something like that. Like at least Vinny sounded like Vinny. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody sounded like they had their own thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Fife sounded like Fife. Q-Tip sounded like Q-Tip. Busta Rhymes sounded like Busta Rhymes. De La sounded like De La. G-Rap sounded like G-Rap. And everybody had their own sound. And so many times because of, trends and things like that, some of this stuff is indecipherable.
Yeah, you don't
You
know.
know what I'm saying?
Like I'll be saying now, man. Even like a lot with the female rappers, man. All of them sound the same now. It should be
Word.
hard. Like you listen to one of them, it's like you listen to all of them.
And you think like, well, that's the other thing you tell people, like, just find your lane. You know what I'm saying? Like Benny the Butcher and Flea Lord, they have two flows that are really unique to them, that are unique to them. You say like, yo, every flow has been existed. Well, then how come they got a new thing that's their thing, that when they come on, it's them? You know what I'm saying? You just gotta play to your strengths, and being the strongest or the best doesn't necessarily mean you win or you're gonna be the best at it. You know what I'm saying? Just like I said, I know my lane. You know what I'm saying? I know the kind of music I make. It's intentional and it's right where I want to be.
I think some of it is with the new rappers is like they're not studying enough of the history of hip hop. I feel like if you study enough of the MCs and you just take a little bit from each one of them, you're gonna come up with your own style. But they ain't studying enough, so they don't know nothing. Like they just listen to Young Thug. Oh, I'm a rap, and that's all they listen to, Young Thug. So that's all they sound like.
Right. Right. But that hurts someone like myself. That I'm always trying to find melodies. That's what guides me. You say like, what am I looking for? Saying I'm always looking for melodies, and it's not like I'm hearing new chords. It's just it's the intention of the melody as well. You know what I'm saying? When you're going for samples, but what you're talking about, how like everybody sounds like Young Thug, like some of this younger generation, all they've ever heard was 808s, kicks, and snares. So they can't even interpret true instrumentation because everything has been digital in that format. You see, someone like ourselves that have a little age to us, you know what I'm saying? We grew up in households where our parents were playing music, right? Right? Wasn't music always played around you? Diverse music. Everywhere you went, you heard different music depending on what neighborhood and what town you were in.
Right.
And you soaked that in. And sometimes you walked in the house like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is whack. And another time you're like, oh, what is this? And I'm just saying that, through all that stuff, it wasn't like, 80s sounds. This was like, 70s. In the 70s, I mean, look, I challenge you to take any genre during the 70s and not be able to find something pretty amazing on it in terms of instrumentation and skill level. That was the peak of unique people interacting with an instrument, because in today's day and age, everybody has a YouTube video how to like understand, with my process. Like I don't make, and once again, I'm not throwing my nose at people or telling you what, if people do this, they're corny or I'm better than them, because everybody has their own thing. I'm just saying, my process is my process. No one taught me it. I learned it myself. It wasn't from a YouTube video. It was from me playing around with the keys and what I wanted to happen in my mind, and building it from that. And I feel like that's what gives you a sound and a uniqueness. And if oh bad, I'm sorry. And if you're learning to make beats and you're watching this guy tell you how to make Kanye beats or whatever, you most likely one of your favorite producers is on the internet right now showing you how he made the beat and also selling you the drum sounds. Yeah. And
I was gonna tell you, man. I remember you was talking about grew up listening to different sounds. I remember growing up, man. I used to watch Hee Haw. I used to like Hee Haw, like Grand Ole Opry and shit. I'm from Mississippi, so I grew up listening to that stuff. So it's like that was real talk what you were saying.
Yeah, because I mean, I love hip hop. Most stuff I listen to is that, but I love all genres of music. You know what I'm saying? If it's passionate, and then it has somebody has something to say, I'll listen to you no matter where you're from. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was, stuff before us or stuff now, but yeah, I'm always inspired. And like I said, I listen more than most because I'm always searching for samples. You know what I mean? And believe me, if I took the same amount of time and just made beats, I'd have hundreds more beats, original stuff, and be a lot further in my career. But this is the path I chose. This is the sound that I want. You know what I'm saying? And I'm proud of it. And I think I'm also proud to hear that there's people like myself that are still keeping this sound alive. You know what I mean? And it's not like we're doing something old school. Like, it's still our unique take. You know, it's still 2021 stuff. You know, you ain't gonna hear it and it's gonna feel dated. You know what I mean? Just, like I said, continuing the conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I think we're gonna have to do a part 2 one day, man.
Word.
We ran
Yeah, I'd
through
love
this
to.
hour.
I mean,
We ran through this hour pretty quick. We was flowing too.
all right. Well, you know, if you ask the right questions, I do got the gift of gab at sometimes. You know what I mean? But,
I would say, so what would you like to leave your fans and supporters with?
the Amity Villains thing, you know, that's what's out right now. It's me and Bunchy, you know, Bunchy Carter from Amityville. It's called Amity Villains because we're both from that hood. Like I said, we're from a place that De La Soul and Prince Paul are from, Class A felony, Lord Demar as well. But we're just trying to rep where we from. It's the stuff me and him create is different than the other stuff I've put out, but it's still authentic BP stuff. And it's been so refreshing working with someone like him because his style is so unique, and I think it's he has the ability to really be digestible. You know, I'm trying to find the right words for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just he's an easy listen, but he's got a lot to say. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes guys that have deep content, you know, that'll turn you off. You know what I'm saying? But then there's other guys that could say it in such a way that it doesn't feel like you got to pick up a book and figure out what they really meant. You know what I'm saying? But it may be one or two things in there just, you know, to make you think. You know, and Bunchy has just some great content, some great energy, great hooks. You know, hooks are really important. I've worked with tons of people that are extreme lyrical assassins. You know, you don't want to see them for 16 ever, but making hooks, you know, even people that are good at hooks, like even 50 Cent, good at hooks, right? But like, you got the same 3 hooks every time, you know what I'm saying? While Bunchy and even his partner Short Shot, that's all over the album as well. They're from the group Dunbar, which is a street in Amityville. Once again, if I have any chance to rep where I'm from, just as much as I told you those artists that influenced me, producers and rappers and all that stuff, Amityville has influenced me more than anything. And my production company is 11701 Productions. That is my area code. Everything I've ever done on professional level, that's, you know, the thing it's attached to. And this is refreshing to be able to just put Amityville in the title and let everybody know, you know, where we from. And you know, this has birthed many great people before us and after us, and there's still many great ones amongst us. And it's the first of many. I have a Dunbar project with both of them, and then I have more Bunchy stuff as well.
Yeah, so I'm actually about to interview Bunchy next. So I was gonna say, can you give me a question for him?
Question for Bunchy. Oh man, I wish you told me ahead of time because I would say something funny. They gonna laugh. All right, here's a topic I didn't get to talk about that is extremely important as well. Just, you know, say DJ Stitches.
Let me write that down. DJ Stitches.
Yeah.
All right.
Stitches is a brother to me. You know what I'm saying? If anyone's ever guided me in this whole thing, it's Stitches. He's the one to link me with Bunchy. Most of the time, if you ever heard anything from my catalog or things I've done, if the scratches, it's about 95% chance it's DJ Stitches. Okay. And I didn't get to talk about him, but that's a good topic for you and Bunchy to discuss because one of the realest dudes out there. You know what I'm saying? And another guy that deserves his flowers, creates, and you know, I have some stuff coming with him as well as Bunchy. So, you know, it'd be a good topic to talk about. And a legend in Amityville. You know, and also, I don't know if you know this. I don't know how well informed you are of De La Soul, but he's one of the original members of De La Soul.
What's up? All right, man. Hey, thanks for coming through politicking with me.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. You know what I mean? I like to do it again sometime.
Yeah, no doubt, man. You want to hit him with your social media?
Yeah, BP. And like I said, my area code 11701. You know, so Instagram, Twitter, whatever. BP, my initials 11701.